Hey, Tony Gas is here. Now, another Instagram Q&A question. Do men respect ultimatums? And the answer is yes and no. But it needs some explanation. And here's what you have to understand. You have to understand the nature of men. And you can understand the nature of men by looking at the nature of boys. So when you look at boys, when you look at kindergarten, first, second grade boys, all the way on up, what do you notice in boys? They like a challenge. They want to climb to the top of the little dome at the playground and jump off of the top. They want to get their swing going as high as it can go and then jump out the end of the swing. They want to wrestle, they want to play, they want to fight, they want to challenge themselves. My youngest son lost his two front teeth from the heel of my oldest son. He got his head split open from running through the house. He just got another big knot on his head from tripping in class. So boys like a challenge. Those boys grow into men. Men like a challenge. So what you have to understand is that men, we do not fear women. We do not fear women because we were created in such a way to be able to provide, to be able to go out, to hunt, to conquer. So there is no fear in a man for a woman. It does not matter how big the woman is, how strong the woman is, how tough the woman is. We do not fear Layla Ali. We do not fear Ronda Rousey. We do not fear Clarissa Shields. We do not fear, there's no fear in any man of any woman. Now, a man will say, oh, yeah, I'm scared. He's saying that out of humility, he's saying that out of respect. So, what we do as men is we respect women. But respect is different than fear. And that has to be understood. Respect is different than fear. So when it comes to ultimatums, your ultimatum is only as good as your word is. So if a woman gives an ultimatum and she has been cheated on by this man several times, and or he has done little things like little tests, and these tests could be yelling at her and she let it slide, cursing at her, she let it slide, saying he's gonna call and not calling, she let it slide, saying he's gonna come over and not coming over, she let it slide, scheduling a date then canceling the date, she let it slide. All of these things are tests to see what a woman is willing to put up with. Is it fair? No. Is it real? Yes. So what happens is now the man has no respect for the woman's ultimatum. So essentially, when that woman gives an ultimatum, the man is like, if he doesn't do it in person, he does it in his head. And it literally, we are like, ooh, this is hilarious. Wow. And in our mind, we're saying like, you leaving? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You moving out? Mm-hmm. And that's what the man is saying in his mind. And so, but a woman who has not really had any issues with this man, and then he tries her, and she checks him sternly the first time, but it is followed up by some type of repercussion. So, and this is very specific. You have to be, the woman has to be intentional with this. So a man doesn't respect a woman who flies off the handle, yelling, screaming. We don't respect that as men because we know the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. Because we understand that the men that will do harm to us don't do a lot of talking. They don't do a lot of posturing and yelling and bowing up. Like the men who will harm you, you won't see it coming. It comes out of nowhere. They will disarm you, like hug you and kiss you on the cheek. A man who can take a life is also man enough to kiss another man on the cheek just to disarm him, to make the man think he likes men, so that when he takes his life, no one suspected this person. And you'll hear this in a story that Snoop Dogg tells about Tupac, when Tupac bumped into Nas, and Tupac, went off on Nas, all boisterous, all blah, blah, blah. And Nas was like, hey man, I'll never respect you. Hey, peace, King. Hey. And then Tupac told Snoop Dogg, yeah, I just punked that man. And then he said he knew in his head, because he said he saw Nas goons. He saw his hitters, and he saw him have them stand down. And he said, no, he just spared us. But that's how a real man gonna move. He's gonna move in silence. He's gonna move in strength. He's gonna move in confidence. He's gonna move in gentleness. He's not gonna be all loud and boisterous and barking. So when a woman is loud and barking and going all off, men do not respect that. Men respect action. So if a man tries a woman and she checks him, and she checks him firmly, sternly, without yelling, without cursing, but directly without mincing her words, that is what impacts a man. So now when that woman gives an ultimatum, so what that may look like is a woman saying, hey, you said you were going to call me at 9 o'clock. What happened? Because I was up at 10 waiting on you. Oh, I forgot. Or, oh, I went to sleep. Oh, I got tied up. If it's anything short of I got in a wreck, I got arrested, I was in the hospital, if it's anything short of that, then she says, listen to me. One thing I do not play about is my time and my life. So falling asleep, getting caught up, all of that, none of that flies with me. So I'm going to tell you like this, and you can think I'm playing if you want to. But if that happens again, you can forget my number. When she tells him like that, now he knows this woman mean business. Because see, as men, we look at a woman who yells and screams and curses, we look at her like a mascot. Like the team mascot that's in the funny uniform, that funny furry outfit. That's how we as men, real men, look at women who yell and bark and curse and get all. That's how we look at her like a mascot. It's funny, it's cute, because she's not about that life. She's not really tough, and that she'll have to be tough on accident just because she done bark so much. So a man gonna respect action. A man gonna respect a woman who could be solemn faced, she could be direct, and she could take action. So what's gonna happen is, when she says, listen, if she catches him in something, and whatever that may be, I'll leave it up to the woman's discretion on if she wants to give a second chance, a final chance. When she catches him in something and she checks him, because of her demeanor in the past, because of how she handled the last issue, with her sternness, her being direct, her being emotionally intelligent, cool, calm, and collected, but very direct and real, raw, uncut. Now this man respects her ultimatum. And if it's an offense that's like egregious, just really reckless, then the ultimatum has to be followed by getting distance. It has, meaning moving out if you live together, meaning going to a hotel for a minimum of 3 nights, 3 days, which is basically be 3 nights, because you got, you need that third night, because you need 3 whole days, just so that it sinks in, up to 14 days. Just how they say it takes like 14 days to form a habit. It may be from 3 to 14 days of different behavior. Like the behavior has to be different. If that's not a possibility, finance is not there, don't have a friend or family member you can stay with, don't want to put friend or family in your business, then the behavior has to be different. Meaning, if you sleep together 1 time a week, then for them next 2 weeks, it's no sleeping together. 2 times, 3 times a week, them next 2 weeks, it's no sleeping together. If you cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or if you cook dinner, it's no cooking. If you clean, it's no cleaning. Like the behavior that you do that provides comfort and assurance, it has to be put on hold so that he understands this ultimatum here is real. And when his behavior changes, and it's consistent, and he gives the woman what she needs, then the woman can start back and pick up where they left off. Like then you could start all over in a sense, and which is the same as picking up where you left off, meaning get back to the normal. But it's after he has shown remorse, he has asked for forgiveness, he has apologized, and his actions, his movements, his energy is different. And it's like, okay, he gets it. Now you can get back. And so we have to understand that, male and female, and understand, women need to know that the ultimatum needs to come sooner than later. It needs to be within the first year. Like when you see the red flags, when you see the signs, you got to jump on it right then. If you don't jump on it right then, you can risk waiting too late and missing that window of opportunity for him to change. So it needs to be early so you can, boom, nip it. So that way, as you get going, year 2, year 3, he already knows you don't play. He already knows you'll walk out. He already knows you will pack up everything, and no matter how hard it is for you, you will turn your back on him and you'll go on about your business if he doesn't respect you and your heart and your love and your time and your space and your mind and all of that, your body. He knows you don't play any games. So, hey, listen to me. Ultimatums are necessary if you don't just want to throw in the towel and be done. It is necessary, but it has to have not just words. It has to have some type of action that follows it, that goes with it, that either action that changes or a separation for a period of time to let that message sink in so he can process what losing you feels like to make it real to him. No, this is not a game. This is life. This is behavioral science. This is what every human has to go through in order to learn a lesson in life. So, hey, thank you so much. We'll talk soon.